How you doing, Ralfy here, Ralfy Customs? Remember the big red one? Well, it ain't red, but we're back on it. Okay, so you may notice, those keen-eyed amongst you will notice that we're no longer fucking big red. We're big blue. Paintwork's fucking, you'll have to wait and see. Paintwork's lovely. Down at Rebellion, let's fucking get a shameless plug in. Here we go, here's our Dan. Find him, get some award-winning custom paintwork done. Happy days. Tell him I sent you. Right, with the help of Dan, who I've just showed you, and our Dean, whose bike it is, we've got the engine and gearbox in situ. I didn't want to scratch the paintwork off, fucking about. We've noticed, I don't know why I didn't pick up on it when I stripped it down, but these rear bolts are a little on the shy side lengthwise, so we've ordered some in, just quarter of an inch longer, just to give us some clear threads when we're doing the bolts up. In the meantime, I can get the gearbox and the primaries all built up will be my first thing. Gearbox bolted in, primaries bolted to the engine, so that when I tighten everything up, everything lines up all right. But I won't tighten up. Obviously, I'm not going to tighten these up. I want these still fucking changeable. So for when we get the new ones, I better tight as fuck that one. But we can get in. I've got a special spanner and a tool I can get in with. So what I'm going to concentrate on first thing is getting the engine and transmission bolted up, and this fucking primary side, the belt on there, and that's got a few little fucking bug bites in it actually. I'm going to try and not show you the paintwork, which is right next to this. So yeah, we've got a few little fucking, there's a stone in there, there's a whopper somewhere there. There's a whopper there, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. There, look. So, we'll get them out, and we'll get that on, and we'll get the primaries built up. I've got a load of photos from when I stripped it, with the order in which it came apart, so I think the next thing would be oil tank. Engine, gearbox, transmission, oil tank. And that's the lump of it together, ain't it? Happy days. Yeah, so we've got the gearbox bolted up. What I'm really struggling with is that the fucking, when I've stripped it apart, the nuts and bolts are all over the place. They're all different lengths and sizes, and most of them don't have fucking washers. You know, it's been chucked together, as you'll recall from when I stripped it down. So I've nipped up the front two engine bolts, but we're awaiting nylock, some stainless nylock nuts and some washers for that. The rear ones, I need longer bolts. They'll be on order today, along with washers and nuts. But the gearbox is actually bolted down. I've tightened three of these up, but this fourth one needs a longer bolt. It's no surprise. These bolts are just long enough. Look, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it screws into the crankcase, and there's fuck all. There's less than a half inch being used, and the hole's a lot fucking longer than that bolt is. I could have a bolt nearly an inch longer and utilise all of the threads, which is what I've ordered 4 of. So they need replacing, so I think they're alright. They tightened up fucking solid. That one's dodgy and he's replacing. I'll replace that one when the new ones come as well. Sorry, not showing you very well. But we can get the belt on now. That's the engine's held steady. The gearbox ain't going anywhere. I'll just show you. I've got these are some of the bits of gravel that I've dug out the belt. It's just 2 of the biggest and 1 of the smallest, but there's fucking, it were peppered. Not proper peppered, but it's got holes in, look. From stones. The reality is that you don't need a belt this wide. I mean, they look cool as fuck. It were the drag racing boys that got into using these. Look at that. What? Which is fine on a drag strip. They're swept down and fucking the engines and gearboxes stripped down every fucking 10 minutes, like, you know, and money's no object, so you change this belt every meeting. And the custom boys that took them on because they look cool as fuck, but they get battered out on the roads there, you know, which is why on my shovel head I've got an 1.5 inch belt. I've got a belt that's not much wider than that in my primary, and it's covered. It's encased, like, you know. So you get the benefits of a belt without the troubles of fucking it getting fucked, because that's what happens to them. So we've got the belt on. We've got a little tool that helps us to persuade things like that. Fucking tighter than a fucking nun's gusset, that is. I don't mind telling you. It's alright though. We'll get these end covers a quick clean up. I'm not going mad. You can see the reflection, like they're shiny. But I ain't going mad. I don't do cosmetics as a rule. But we'll give them a good clean up, you know. And unsurprisingly, the bolts that hold these on and both covers on, I've gone on the list because they're a mixed match of stainless and not stainless. And look at that. Who the fuck cuts a bolt off and leaves the end raw and fits it on a fucking bike light? What the fuck? Anyway, so they're on the list. Just there's 3 in the back, 2 in the front, one that'll hold it on, and I'm just working my way through fitting this guard now. They pull up nice. So I'll give them a tweak with a regular ratchet, and that's the primary. I'm sure there's 2 holes there that are for something that's not included, I'm hoping, because I don't know what it is. No, if there was an inner one, but I don't think there was. Oh, looking at the stones in it, there fucking weren't, was there? Let's be frank. So, fingers crossed, everything's fucking tickety-boo. Now we're gingerly, very gingerly. I've got 100 photos of this thing coming apart, and a video series in case you follow it. But I'm cleaning the threads out using the patented older tapping the Ryobi method. Not good for tapping holes, certainly not good for tapping holes, but good for cleaning powder coating and paint out of threaded holes. And I remember having to thread that lead through, so I've done that. I've discovered the brackets. These hang down, look. There's one. The other one's tighter than a nun's gusset again, so I'm hoping that we can undo it and move it into situ. But we'll see. This is just the next stage, is fitting this oil tank. So there we go then. Oil tank's in. Oil lines are on. The one I can't find is the fucking drain, which is not critical. Any old pipe, well, any old pipe needs to be right, but you know what I mean. It's not got to be anything fancy. Just needs to do its job and be bunged up. Just needs to go on there and be bunged up. So I'm going to check a photograph again that I took of this oil assembly when I was stripping it down, and see what's what there. Okay, so yeah, here we go. That's got the same bolt in it that was bunging it up when it came in. I'm putting the shocks under now. Fucking hell. I'm using a little stubby look because there is absolutely no clearance to get in with a regular size spanner or anything. So basically we'll get these worked in, and I'm either then going to look at the swing arm, exciting, or the front end, because that's all in one piece. That can kind of go in together, the front end. So, we'll have to see, won't we? So we have the engine and gearbox mounted in the frame. The primer is built up, awaiting proper bolts, same as the rear engine bolts. I'm waiting proper fasteners. The forward controls are now fitted, which I did off piste, well, off camera. Put gearbox oil in, oil tanks in, oil's there ready. There's a filter some fucking where that I've put to one side. Move that out of the way. Sorry, bad camera work. And there's your blows captain. So next up, I'm really putting off fitting the rear fucking swing arm because it's got the fender as part of it, and I know it's all precious and it don't make any difference, but it's a big chunk of shit to be fucking about with and be exposed on a job that you're working on because I don't want to mark it. So we're either going to do that or we're going to get a front end in. They both got to happen. So one way or another, we'll be putting it on its wheels very shortly. And of course, no video will be complete without the obligatory. Let me turn it up a bit. Without the obligatory cook-up, breakfast time. I've run out of fucking cobs, baps, bread rolls, call them what you want, but we all know the fucking cobs. Soft ones could be baps, but baps is a different thing entirely, if you know what I mean. Anyway, run out of them, so double bacon, nice egg, maybe a bit of cheese, a nice coffee, and then we'll crack on. I've just been doing a little bit to Harry the bastard, because I've developed, well I've not, he's developed an oil leak. I'd be worried if I had. That'd be a bit of a strange one. Base gasket on the front, I reckon. I thought it was the fork oil had migrated because it was a bit spread out like, but I've cleaned it off and it's reappeared, and I've done the fork seal, so it's not that. I've ordered a gasket set, hoping that I don't need it, although I can get the front off. The front head and barrel comes off with the engine in the frame. If it was a rear one, I'd be fucked, I think, because you can't get that fucking rocker box off for a start. You might be able to slide the barrel off. I can't remember how much of a lip there is. Slide the head off, if you know what I mean. Not sure. Can't remember, but maybe. But hopefully we won't need that. What I've done, I've cleaned everything up. I've bollocked that inside bolt. The offending fucking bolt is that one. And they're a cunt to get to when it's all built up. There's a support bracket goes here to support the car. Can't get in. Plus you can't get in with a fucking ring spanner. So, that's the wrong one. Can't get in with a ring spanner. It won't go on. You can't get a ring on there like properly. So you end up, you're doing it with the open ender and fucking your foot against the foot peg, fucking giving it everything you got, trying to get it as tight as it needs to be. There you go, fucking gleaming. Bit of cheese there, a bit of red Leicester, being as though we're just outside of Leicester. Happy days. Okay, I'm thinking I might get the swing arm in. I want to leave the back end. I'm not going to put the back wheel in because I want to leave all that out. So I've got room to sort the wiring out for the brake light switch and so on and so forth. There's shit going on back there. I want to get to the back of this oil tank. So I'm not going to put the back wheel in. I'm not going to put the shroud on the back wheel there. Look, I think what I'm going to do is bite the bullet and uncover this fucker. Instead of waiting patiently for the last few months while the paintwork's been done and so on and so forth. It's not a few months actually, it feels like it, but it's only fucking a couple of months. So look, that's taller than me. And that needs to go in the bike. So yeah, here we go. Christ on a fucking bike. This is a couple of hours later. I'm not even shitting you. So we've got, I don't know if the camera will get it, we've got a rake in the yoke. So the bottom yoke's offset, and then we've got the rake in the frame. The forks don't follow the frame. Makes it a cunt to get in one piece. So I've had to disassemble the front end, which is a struggle on your own when it's as tall as you are, but we've managed to win. And we've also got a carburetor on and the ignition coil on. Now, I've looked at my pictures and checked where wiring's routed and all the rest of it, and it ain't fucking pretty. You know, I've half a mind to recommend a rewire, but I'm not sure that that's something that I'm going to get into, to be fair. The biggest obstacle I've got is that these have all come off. Look, this was on the back of the ignition, taped on the back of the ignition, and there's 1, 2, 3, because I've still got a wire attached, 3 little piggies that have been crimped up, and they're not connected to anything, and then there's one wire there that's not connected to anything, so I'm going to have to get in there and see what's what. I don't know if this is just pulled out while it's been in storage here, or whether it rang. I reckon it rang off like a fucking broken fingernail before I got to it. I've not done that, I'm careful. So that's going to be fucking interesting, Mr. Bond. Oh, front end's in. Oh, snide with a cable tie and a bit of rubber tube, eh? Not my first fucking rodeo. Wait, if you do what I mean. I put some rubber fucking oil pipe, content tight, on the stops to stop them making too much of a mess of the framework, but I don't think that's the best thought out solution. I think a little fucking alley pad on there would have been in order, but now we're past that, I think. We see what Ardino says. He'll lose a lock. I don't know how much lock there is. I've only just realised that it is how it is, so I put those on temporarily. And we're slowly working through. I'm finding the routing for cables that I didn't know. Well, I'd forgotten. See, I'm not happy with that. Why don't I just go underneath and along? Why does it go above that? It's cable tied there, so it's always sat how it sits, you know. I've looked through my photographs and seen that it comes out there. Look, that's the end of it. This little red one, that's charging wire. Dead simple. I'll also have the ignition wires that ran through the frame, and we're not doing that. So we've got to join them up. So we're going from there up to the coil. They literally do just that, up to the coil, and then we need to make sure they go on the coil the right orientation. If I believe, I've not even took this cover off ever, so I don't think it's got some over the top ignition thing, because I've found no module for it. It's probably a set of fucking points and a condenser in there for all I know. So that'll be that, unless there's something stuck in the headlight where I've not looked. But we've got the handlebars all together. You didn't see me struggle taking them apart to get things rooted and suited and booted. But we're getting there, look, we're like front end's in. We're down to the nitty gritty, apart from the back end, the swing arm and the back wheel and all that. And then it just leaves the tank and the front mudguard and the exhaust and the air filter. It's the little things that are taking the time and sorting out where they should go and how they should be, you know. But it's like a big jigsaw puzzle that you've not got all the pictures for, and you have to work out what goes where and fill in the blanks. Right, so we've fitted a lovely new LED. Yeah, look, for the oil light. I'm going to fit the head steady. Fucking thread's gone. What was left of the threads come out on the fucking bolt, and it's 1/2 inch UNF. So I've got nothing like that. What I'm going to have to do is put a thread insert in, put an eddy coil in, if I can, and take it out to 12mm M12. So first thing we're going to do is drill out what's left of what's going on in there, if I can again. See how we get on. Not with this fucker. It's not happy, is it? Come on. It's right on the brink. That's what the problem is. I might have to employ the services of a mains drill. So we're going to drill that out anyway to this side. Come on. Come on. Come on, you bastard. I'll get that drilled out. I'll struggle with that off camera, and then I'll join you shortly. Right. Fucking hell, that game. Now what I need to do is run this tap in. So I'm going to get a tap holder. Right, it's quite a big tap this, and it needs a big fucking tap holder, and there's not acres of fucking room, is there? So let's just hope that we can get it started nice. Oh, yeah, there you go, see, struggle. I'm actually pushing down on it as I'm doing this. I'm hoping to get it cutting nicely, like that. And then when we start fouling everything, which we're doing immediately, we can back the tool out a little bit. There we go, back the holder out now, keep going. And sooner or later, I'm going to have to swap to an adjustable spanner because it's going to be in the barrels. But not yet. So I'll get this thread cut and then get ready to put the insert in. Yeah, so we've got that so far in. We're about here actually. Let's have a look. Having to work it with it adjustable because we can angle that away from the barrels. So, yeah, fucking hell, it's tight. The thing is, I don't really want to put any lube on it. I know that might surprise regular viewers, but this is not a job for lube. The reason being, I've got to Loctite the insert in, and Loctite and lube don't mix, and I don't want to be using like fucking brake cleaner or something to get the lube out because of this lovely candy fucking paint job. There you go. Although to be fair, 2-pack clear lacquer, which is what it's covered with, is fucking tougher than a minibus full of fucking Millwall fans. Fucking hell. A bit like this thread. This won't go anywhere. Don't fucking tell me that. So I'll carry on. Then I'll back it out and then we'll Loctite the insert in. So, well, we're on or off. We're done. And look at that fucker. It's under the tank, you won't see it. But I'll put it on my list. I've got a list of such boo-boos. There's only a couple. And they're quite understandable, so no dramas. When Dan comes to touch it up, he can touch it up. Although I probably won't bother with that bit. So, get this fucker out. Oh, come on. And then blow that all out. See that fucking... We don't want that in there, do we? What we do want is one of these fucking inserts. So, we'll get one. And we'll get our Loctite. We'll get our tool. And we'll pop that on the slot. You can adjust this up to halfway, which is the one, so it holds it. But I think we'll be right. Here we go, look, Loctite's sealed up. Hold on a sec. Right, I'm back, so I've probed the hole in the top of the Loctite, so it had held up, and I've moved the adjuster to the corresponding position because that's the right way to do it. Now all we need is to be able to get this fucker started, like so, and we'll wind it in until we're a couple of threads shy of the surface. There, look. And then there's a little peg on the end that we need to snap off, and they give you a tool for doing such. And then a quick blowout if that peg comes out. Nah, I didn't see it, did you? Anyway, now that'll take a fucking M12 bolt. If I had one the right fucking thread. They'll take an M12 bolt anyway, so all's good.